Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder. And have you ever wanted to know the top heroes, artifacts, pets, pairings, top 5s, top 10s, tier lists? Of course you do. This is very valuable data to a community player, or just anyone that plays the game. And so very similar to what we ended up doing off of our free-to-play questionnaire, we're now going to be doing a PvP questionnaire. Now, very like we did for the free-to-play one, and this is going to be community-wide. I should also note, as a nice asterisk here, I am in the middle of building out a private Discord group channels for free-to-play players, top free-to-play players, and then top fighters. Slash strongest players in the game. So that way when I end up doing these in the future, what I'd like to try and do is have that group of individuals filling out these questionnaires so that way we can get the highest quality and highest accuracy of data, which does not mean that anything that we get from doing it this time around is not going to be helpful at all. It will be helpful, just like when we did that big free-to-play questionnaire. But I just think that this will be better if I can, for example, right, in my ideal state of mind, if I could get like the 300 strongest players in the game and they just all happen to have Discord, and then I can get them into a group and then just ping everyone and say, hey, here's a form, can you fill it out for this month, or if we do it every 2 or 3 months. That is kind of the dream there. However, I'm realizing now, as I've reached out to the top 25 strongest players in the game, that only like less than half of them, or about half of them, have Discord, at least that I have found so far. I have to do some more digging. But yeah, again, there's a lot of Sherlock Holmes and Watson investigation that's happening on that front. Anyways, I digress. Here we are with the questionnaire. If you want to get access to this and you want to share this questionnaire with friends, there's going to be a link to it in the pinned comment description down below. I'm going to walk through it real quick and just kind of explain what the theory is, or the reasoning, or I guess explanation is behind the questions in the section. So there's 4 sections. When you load the questionnaire up, it's just going to be this part. Section 1, you'll just click next, which will most likely be right here below when you're on the viewing form. And then we'll get to heroes. Now, for this one, I asked who is the hero to level first. And that's basically, there's first and it goes all the way to 10, right? So it's, who do you think is the most important to do first? Who do you think is the most important to do second? You can see all they're listed here. This took a lot of typing out, just to point out, but all of them are alphabetized, and you'll see that on each question, L for legendary, E for epic, and same thing, right? Which hero to level second, right? And this goes all the way on until we get to, let's just say, I think it's 10. Yeah, should be 10 right here. Yeah, 10. And then, and that's more to figure out, okay, are we going to see consistencies in pairings? Do people prioritize heroes over maybe pairs of 2? And so I just thought that'd be interesting to ask. And then select your 5 best pairings. Now, this is off of a number of players that I got feedback from when I was sending some in-game messages out about a week ago. And so I ended up just putting these in. Again, this does not indicate all of the pairings. This is just a number of them. There is an other section here, and you'll notice there's an other section and a couple other of these. My only ask is that if you select other and you put in a pair that's not here, it's okay. Just please follow the same format, because if you follow the same format, which is hero name space / space hero name, anyone who types it in the same way, it'll get stacked and counted together on the analytics on the back end. So it's really important to try and format that correctly. And then we ask a question, right, which is, can you explain why you chose those 5 pairs, right? This is for those players who take time and want to give us some insight. They want to give us some knowledge and some education into why it is that they have selected those pairings, what is good about those pairings, what are the pros and cons, etc. And that I really like, because I think that gives players a really nice insight to read into what those explanations are, especially for those of you that like to understand the why. Then we get into, what is the best mage pair, and simply put, for these ones, I'm sure there's others, but what I ended up doing here for this is I basically just went through all the mages and I just made it so each one is paired with each, right? Starting from legendaries. So you can see everything's in order. It's Bertrand, but then it's Alwyn, Atheist, Lilia, right? So you can see the secondaries are all in alphabetical order. So this is very easy to find. Like I said, it's not going to probably include all of the pairings, especially the off tier specific or unit specific, or we should say unit type specific pairings. Some of them will be here, but I did it this way, even though, yes, some of these you probably won't do. I just wanted to cover my bases, right? I wanted to make sure I applied some due diligence, and that way when I do it the next time around, after we get the initial data, I'll be able to add in any others that people are running as well. And so we did the same thing, right? What's your best archer pair for heroes, flying pair, cavalry, and infantry. And then we get to section 3, which is artifacts. Now, artifacts, same thing, right? What is the artifact to level up first, right? And again, this took a long time because I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of freaking artifacts. But then just what to level up second, right? And then we get down here to past 10th. And then we get to the checkbox, right? Now you can select up to 5, or 5 exactly, right? So what are the top 5 artifacts? And it also has a little note here, right? If adding from other, please use the same format as answers below. And then we get past that. Can you explain? And then what is the best artifact for a mage march? And then same thing, right? So the different types of marches. And then we get to pets. And pets should be section 4. Here we go, right? So what war pet do you level up first, second? I think we just go to 5 for this one. And then we end up having, what are the top 5 war pets? Right, again, same thing. And then we ask, what can you explain why you run those 5 war pets? What is the best war pet for mages, right? Archers, flying, etc. And that's it. So again, that is the summary of what I got so far. I didn't take any feedback yet because I just really wanted to get this out initially. But if there's other types of questions when it comes to, like I said, this is very bare bones entry level. So if there's any other questions that you think would be good to ask in here, even if I was to make the kind of like a miscellaneous section at the end, I didn't want to add in too many like long form written questions because really all you're doing is going through this and just kind of selecting 1 or 5 at the end of the day. So it shouldn't take too long in that regard. And then even if you don't want to write anything long form, you can just, type a period or something like that, right, in any of those paragraph form questions, paragraph length questions, I should say. But yeah, let me know anything and everything. And again, pass this around to as many people as you can, and I'll try and get the results posted in a couple days after we end up allowing for some time for people to come in. But man, listen, I love doing these types of videos. And if I leave you with anything, it's for me, I think the biggest thing that we can do as a community is to help educate as many players as humanly possible. And I love doing these kinds of big pull data pools because the way that we can show the information off, I think, is incredibly educational, especially to new players that are coming in and or even existing players that are playing. I think it can help people kind of keep up and stay with what the meta is, but also understanding why the meta is that way. When we look at analytics, especially for these, we'll also go in-game and we'll look at, okay, well, what's the hero's skill set? What's the artifact skill? Right? What are the pet attributes and details, right? So we can better understand why are they being paired here and in this way, and also reading through some of the answers. And eventually, once I end up doing, depending on how many videos I'm going to separate this in, whenever I do the last one, I will also make the analytics available to everyone. That's something I'm very big on. I like being able to make that available to the community so that way you don't always have to just kind of rely on coming and watching the videos, even though I always appreciate it for those that do. With that in mind, that is it for me. Again, as always, thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoy this one. And yeah, that's going to do it. As always, until next time, I'll catch y'all later.